So this demo is a must-have for all the FF7 super fans out there, because even though I tried my best, there's definitely some stuff I missed. This disc can be pricey, but it's a heck of a deal. It even comes with a free fighting game that's pretty good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed getting super nerdy on some Final Fantasy VII. Thanks for watching. No, not that one. No, not that one. Yeah, that's the one. Tecmo's 1987 port of Rygar is definitely one of my top 10 favorite NES games. I crashed and lost this game. But, then why am I not giving this game a full review? It's terrible. It's not terrible like Mystic Quest, like actually awful. It's buggy, it's ugly, it's confusing, and offers almost no direction, has virtually no story in the actual game, has a fun, awful ending, and it's one of my favorite games on the system. For me, really the absolute essence of nostalgia, even more so than, say, DuckTales. DuckTales is a game I can love for both the fact that it was one of my favorite games as a kid, and because it's really, really good. But Rygar, it's just one of those games. So I dedicate this video to anyone who loves the game, even though deep down, you know in your hardest of hearts, it is an awful game. Not really a game you can defend, but you don't care. Everyone has a guilty pleasure, and mine is Rygar for the NES. But maybe Rygar isn't that bad. Maybe it's just really old. I mean, for 1987, it has a big, sprawling open world to explore, awesome music, a large variety of items to find, and pretty responsive controls. If you're not an action veteran, it can be really hard sometimes, but you got everything continues. I think the fact that I know where to go and how to beat Rygar has a lot to do with why I like it. Like I said, this game offers virtually no direction, save for a few cryptic messages from those useless old buff dudes. I remember looking up where to go in one of those How to Win a Nintendo Games books. Anyone else remember those? No? Fuck, I'm old. Anyway, because I'm a nice guy and I want you to enjoy this game, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough to get started. So here we go. This is Rygar. When you start, you can only move to the right, so run to the right. You'll notice enemies will spawn all around you at a pretty high rate, so it's best just to keep moving. Remember, you can jump on enemies, which will freeze them and give you a little extra air. When you reach the door, go through it and keep moving. Climb up the rope and you'll see a door. Go inside of it, you'll meet your first useless monk. You'll come across a lot of these guys, and yeah, I don't know what the hell he's talking about either. And don't jump off that ledge, you'll die. I know it's stupid, but just don't do it. Alright, keep going, and you'll come down to a new area. You'll travel back to this place a couple times in the game, but never to those last two sections. Keep heading right, and you'll see a door above you. This is our destination. Surprise! New perspective. The bulk of the game is spent here, but we need to get the grappling hook before we can get any support. So head up and hang a left. A really useful tactic is to jump a lot. It makes you pretty much invincible and more agile. At the fork, go right. Keep going, you'll come across a shrine with a tiger's head. You'll see a lot of these in the game. Go inside, which is actually pretty tricky, and get the grappling hook, which you'll use by hitting up and B. There's nothing else of interest over here, so head back where you came from, and now instead head right. Go up and around the ravine, skip those zip lines for now, and hit the first right. Immediately up is another tiger shrine that takes you to the next place we're supposed to go, but we're not going there next. Head right and up if you need to heal, and right once more and you'll see another tiger shrine. Now, we're technically sequence breaking here. We're actually going to one of the last areas in the game. This is totally optional, but it's what I always do. This section can be pretty tough since the enemies are super strong, but if you make it, you'll come across a new area. Grapple up from this ledge to find a floating island that has super strong robots. These robots will give you a ton of experience points, but it'll take a really long time to kill it first. If you die, no worries, you have unlimited continues. Develop a pattern of stab these guys for a few minutes. As you get stronger, your HP also increases. The max is 12, by the way. When you're satisfied, you don't have to max out. Head back to here, where you were supposed to go. This place is pretty self-explanatory. Head to the right, and if you're ever in doubt, use your grappling hook. If you took the time to power up, nothing should stand in your way. At one point, you'll come to a monk who who tells you you cannot pass without the grappling hook. Remember this spot because above him is actually the very end of the game, but of course you can't get there yet. Keep moving and eventually you'll come to a jungle area. Here's a tip. You can refill your health in over and up here, and you can kill those otter-looking things by just scrolling the screen back a bit. And remember, if you're ever in doubt, use your grappling hook. Before long, you'll meet the first boss, which if you power it up is a joke. Collect your reward and we're back here again. Now it's on to the second boss. Head to the left and back to the ravine. Either go up and around or down and across the zip line. Then go to the bottom left. Then go across the next zip line. It's actually a pain in the ass to connect on, so be careful not to fall in the water and die. Now follow the path to another door. This is the next area. It's not hard to navigate there, so explore until you find the spider boss. Don't forget about the power-up and recovery spells at the positive. Those white bars represent the energy gathered from stalking. After that, very carefully walk around the door, then follow the path until you see a log. Stand just right and push B. Now walk straight on the line. Again, this game is buggy and unpolished, so try not to accidentally fall off the dock. Now, you may have also noticed this game has an amazing soundtrack, especially that cave music we just heard. Well, Rygar also has the dubious honor of having one of the most jaw-droppingly, mind-numbing songs ever composed. It is just these 4 fucking notes. This is the music that plays in Hell's Waiting Room. Navigating this area is about as hard as the boss waiting for you, so I'll leave that to you. And at this point, you're about 2/3 of the way through the game and have enough items to go just about everywhere. I've already told you where the end of the game is, so I'll leave the rest up to you. Before we wrap things up, I have to talk about something. The soundtrack to this game is without a doubt its best part. But don't take my word for it. Music montage! That's enough out of me. Rygar is absolutely one of my favorites. Not so much the other ones, but you should definitely play this game. It's cheap, and now that you know how to get started, you'll probably enjoy this game. Hope you enjoyed getting super nerdy on some Rygar. Thanks for watching. Dragon Warrior is one of the most important games ever created. It drew inspiration from heavy D&D influenced RPGs like Wizardry and Ultima, but simplified every aspect to make it more appealing to the average gamer. The result was a gaming phenomenon still present today, at least in Japan, and essentially the modern RPG, a formula also still seen today. But that doesn't mean this game has aged well at all, because it hasn't. The NES version of Dragon Warrior is so difficult and tedious, it's virtually unplayable to anyone except the hardest of the hardcore retro gamers. But Dragon Warrior is still a game every gamer should experience because of how important it is. However, the best way to play it in America is the Game Boy Color port. The Game Boy Color port of Dragon Warrior is one of my favorite RPGs ever made. It takes everything that keeps the NES original from being enjoyable today and cuts it like a fatty steak. By making a ton of little tweaks, it takes a game that could take, say, your whole 3rd grade summer vacation to beat, and makes a game that you could beat in, say, the time it takes to fly from Anchorage, Alaska to a gaming convention just outside Washington, D.C. Dragon Warrior is a game everyone should experience, but if you want